Country at kingscountry.net. It's the Jim King thing. Come on in. Welcome to the show. We've got a major episode coming up this weekend. We're actually paying tribute to the late, great Don Rollins, who passed several weeks ago. At the age of 63, he was co-writer of a song called It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. One of the biggest country hits of all time, safe to say. Sure, we'll probably play that pretty soon, but coming up straight ahead, it's Little Big Town on the Jim King thing. Welcome to the show.
If anyone's looking for Vidor's crown, his court jester's wearing it, and that's all he's wearing. Long live the fling.
Making and muscle shows on Game yeah.
Coming to you from the studios of King of the Road Productions in Beaumont, Texas, where we've evolved with the times. Yeah, when I started in broadcasting, it was just AM and FM radio back in the 80s. Didn't even dream up the stuff we're using today. It's amazing technology that I can do all this from the studio, a.k.a. the Cat House on the west end of Beaumont. Got another fantastic episode. I'll tell you more and give you some audio samples from our Don Rollins tribute. Don Rollins passed recently, writer of It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. I've got an acoustic version of him doing that and a lot more coming up. Stay with us as we carry on with Pat Green on the Jim King of the Radio Show. Thanks for streaming us.
Baby's just a little bit tired of the city.
Kings Country, kingscountry.net. Some good news for Reba McEntire and fans and colleagues. Reba McEntire's NBC sitcom Happy Place has been renewed for a second season. I have yet to see it, but I do miss seeing her on The Voice. Well, here she is breaking the good news to her entire cast, which also includes Melissa Peterman and Reba's boyfriend, Rex Lynn. I missed that series they were doing called Big Sky. Anyway, here's that audio.
We got picked up for second season. Tears of joy. We got picked up for our second season. Just told us right before we're going to go on to do the last show of the first season. What a gift. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Woo!
Okay, let's do a show. Let's do a show.
We can't wait to get back in this kitchen for season 2. Happy's Place.
King's Country at kingscountry.net. That's Martina McBride, Her Majesty. I'm Jim King of the Radio, and here comes Casey Donahue Band, song called Missing You, and that's why I'm having a fabulous flashback. Hold on tight, boys and girls. Could get bumpy.
King of the road.
Backstage in Beaumont with Texas country troubadour Casey Donahue.
But you know that I'll be fine until the next time that the phone will ring. The next time you hear me sing, the next time that our eyes will meet. You sweep me off my feet. Next time, well, I won't be alone. You said you'd come back home. Until the next time.
Casey Donahue, great to see you back in Southeast Texas.
It's good to be back.
Has it been a while since you've been in our neck of the woods?
It seems like it has. We were talking about earlier. It's been at least over a year since we were in Beaumont proper, so we're glad to be back.
And a lot of things have happened, and even a new tour bus, a Palace on wheels out there. That's a nice bus, man.
I appreciate it. We got to custom order one and build it specifically for us, so yeah, we were excited.
Racking up a lot of miles these days?
Man, we've had it a year, and we did about 85,000 miles last year.
Wow. King's Country at kingscountry.net. It's the Jim King of the Radio Show, not to be confused with that TV show, but the TV show is top of mind every weekend because we are all over the place 6 times. Count them 6 times, half a dozen times every week. The Jim King of the TV show airs on local platforms like Fox 4, the CW, mainstream media, as well as Strike TV and YouTube. And this one, we're paying tribute to the late, great Don Rollins, who passed several weeks ago. He's most famous for co-writing It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. Here's some audio samples from the show. Check this out.
Well, this is the first song that I ever had recorded. I was trying to be a songwriter and sitting around writing songs in my bedroom night after night, and literally I wrote several hundred songs before I ever even showed one to someone else. And this is one of the ones I did show to someone else, a buddy of mine named Lobo Loggins, who was playing around here back in those days. Heard this song and loved it, and at the time he had a writing deal and recording deal with Step One Records, which is where Ray Price and Kitty Wells and Charlie McCoy and a lot of that older generation of country star had gone when they were not getting the mainstream airplay anymore. They were cutting records for Step One. It was a great label at the time for that kind of thing. And so I went to Nashville in 1989, and this song got demoed, got me a publishing deal, and later in 1989 it was a single for Ray Price. So everything happened really, really fast the first time around, and kind of got me hooked. I think if this hadn't happened, I might have not tried so hard for so many years. This is called Love Me Down to Size. Been to New York City in the springtime. Spent summers down on San Francisco Bay. When winter brings the rain and snow, I'd hit the beach in Mexico and play the games that pretty people play. I never minded looking in the mirror. I always liked to be my own best friend. Then you took me by the hand and led me to your promised land, and now I never want to be alone again. You gave me everything I ever needed in my life. You closed the door and opened up my eyes. You answered all my questions about tomorrow and forever, and when you laid me down and loved me down to size.
In 2003, Don teamed up with Jim Moose Brown to write It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere, the Grammy Award-winning hit.
The title came up from a teacher that you worked with?
The guy that I first started teaching with when I was right out of college, his name was Jim Blacksher, and I was his assistant at Humble High School. And he was just a good old boy from East Texas and liked to drink a beer. And we would lock up the band hall about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and on most days. And I would say before we left, I said, well, Jimmy, you want to grab a beer before you go home? And he'd look at his watch and he'd say, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, sure. So he said that every day, and I guess it stuck in the back of my head and came out when it needed to. Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. No, I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I bet it's 5 o'clock on the King of the Road show all the time.
Since Don stopped by the King of the Road production studio all those years ago, he's been inducted into the Music Hall of Fame at the Museum of the Gulf Coast in Port Arthur, Texas.
I have some good friends in here. That's one reason I'm standing here in front.
Yeah, Becky Barksdale.
Becky and I graduated from Vidor in 79, and Becky graduated from TJ and Thomas Jefferson in 79. We were both members of the first all-region jazz band in this part of Texas. And she played guitar and I played saxophone. And we actually ended up sharing a house when we were both music majors at Lamar for a while. And, you know, I'd be playing 5 nights a week in one band. She'd be playing 5 nights a week in another one. And we'd have half the professional musicians in Beaumont sitting in our living room at 3 in the morning jamming. It was a great way to live for a little while. Yeah.
She had a long run with Michael Jackson.
She did the Dangerous tour, which was I think a 2-year plus tour.
Yeah.
Europe and Asia, basically everywhere but North America.
Yeah.
The rest of the world. And it seems to be the criteria is, do you have the guts to get out of here and go to Nashville or LA or New York or wherever your talent can find its greatest success. So she replaced Jennifer Batten, who's still one of the prominent rock guitar players in L.A. And then when Michael died, he was rehearsing for a new tour, and he had a female lead guitar player. That's just a thing that he was into. And there was a very vicious competitive audition, and she won it. And it was just a really cool thing.
All right, Becky Barksdale, you rule. Thank you, Don.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Rest in peace, Don Rollins. Don't miss the episode this weekend on the Jim King of the TV show, and thanks for streaming King's Country.
I hear the sound calling me.
King's Country at kingscountry.net. You'll never find a better country music mixed anywhere on the planet, if I don't say so myself. And thanks to modern technology, you can take us everywhere, literally. Yeah, on your smartphone, in your car, via Bluetooth, iTunes, Live 365, TuneIn, and on television, too. Don't tell anybody, but you can find us 24/7 and 365 somewhere between YouTube and Internet Radio, King's Country. Do appreciate you listening. Tell your friends about us. King's Country, kingscountry.net only plays the cream of the crop in country music from all decades, including ones from Pam Tillis. I think we've got some Pam Tillis coming up. And the reason why I say Pam Tillis, well, this was kind of awkward. Country star Pam Tillis was on stage next to Tucker Wetmore singing his praises. The only problem was she thought he was Riley Green. Riley was on the other end of the stage and tried to smooth things over, but it was just a little too late.
Love the new video. You know, he's been at it for a long time. Everybody up here, they probably started young as kids, I'm sure, and you've been paying your dues for a good long while from your home state of Alabama, right?
No, I'm from Washington State.
Like I said, you're from Washington.
Yes, ma'am.
He stepped into the big time, y'all. He's a headliner. Give it up. Come on now. Mr. Riley Green, everybody.
My name is Tucker Wetmore.
Where's Riley?
I wish I was that. Just reuse that introduction in a little bit.
No wonder you're from Washington. All
That's right.
Well, I haven't seen your video.
He has a way better mustache than I do, too.
King's Country, kingscountry.net. There goes Her Royal Highness, Linda Ronstadt. I remember seeing her way back in the 70s at the Frank Irwin Center in Austin, Texas, when I was going to the University of Texas. Saw a lot of people there. I think they've torn that place down, but it was pretty new at that time. Magnificent place to see a concert. I saw Bruce Springsteen there, as well as Linda Ronstadt. Bob Dylan once. I know I saw Jimmy Buffett there. So many concerts. And Johnny Lee's coming up next. And, of course, I've been to lots of Johnny Lee concerts and actually interviewed him. And that's why I'm having a fabulous flashback. Bear with me.
King of the road.
Backstage with the legendary Johnny Lee.
I was in Georgia. I met this chick down there, and she took me to an antique show, and I was walking around, looking at stuff and everything. And this little lady come up, she said, "Have you ever been to an antique show before?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I've seen Mickey Gilley 3 times."
I ain't got my name in the marquee lights.
Life on a run.
Thanks again for streaming us. King's Country at kingscountry.net. No excuse to settle for less. I had to settle for less earlier this week because my black Bullet, the one that says TV King on the license plate, it was in the shop for a couple of days. I had a mysterious check engine light thing going on for a long time. It would come and go. So finally, it was on, so I was able to take it in. You can't even get it tested unless it's actually on, but it was sporadic. So when it finally came on, I took it over to Snowden's. I think they're an excellent shop here in Beaumont, not far from my little production castle over here. And they discovered that it was a thermostat. We're rolling again. And the reason why I bring that up is because I was forced to drive the old Caddy around town for a while. Got it cleaned up and drove that around. Had to listen to terrestrial radio. I was shocked about how far country radio has fallen. It is horrendous. Man. Long commercial breaks and crappy music in between. They do play some little good nuggets, some of the stuff we play, but not much. And this new country, man, what a waste. Anyway, you found your home, and I have too, and we appreciate you. And I'll shut my pie hole, pay a couple of bills, and we'll talk to you next time on the Jim King of the Radio Show. Later, Gators.